Hey YouTube, Bearded Bristol back with a little weekend philosophy. Hanging out this afternoon on a fine, chilly Sunday afternoon with a little Da Vinci in my Wackinelli pipe. Man, I just really dig the Cornell and Deal Da Vinci. That's a good go-to for me, especially on a chilly day. Also enjoying a little John Bar Scotch here. Because it's Sunday afternoon, it's mixed extra light. Getting ready for the work week and all, and the challenges that lie ahead, right? But I've got a question for all of you out there because I need a little bit of help or guidance, perhaps, in goal setting. Goal setting, that fun stuff. Let me set the stage a little bit for you. When you're in high school, starting about sophomore year, there's all of this talk amongst your guidance counselors and whatever about where do you see yourself when you're 25? Where do you see yourself when you're 30? And it's an amazing thing because I am creative, I am imaginative, and I have never in my life had an answer for that question. And, as I'm getting a little older now, crossed that 40-year barrier here a couple of months ago, it's given me a pause to kind of think about all of that and where is it I'm going. And I still don't have an answer for that. And it's even more interesting because of the age of computers, we can do so much from where we currently are that I think that's even hampered myself a little more in terms of figuring out where it is I'm supposed to be or where I'm supposed to be going. So anyway, I've been blessed with a whole lot of God-given gifts. Artistic, athletic, fairly intellectually sound. And I think in part because of that, I've never been able to focus let's just stop right there. I have also been blessed with a decision-making disorder, which is just delightful. But I think in part because of the number of gifts that I have been blessed with, it's made it difficult for me to focus in on one thing and really move forward on it with all of my heart. My interests are so varied, like I say, from art to sports to, I love building websites, but I also love playing with wood and building, in the wood shop. So it's just made things very challenging for me in terms of goal setting. And, a lot of folks would say I am blessed, and I certainly am. But where do you go with making goals or setting goals and kind of taking control of the wheel, as it were? I am a spiritual person, albeit I am not terribly church going these days. Hang on a second. Got my Aristocob professional tamper here. But, some people would say to just pray about it and let God guide you, and maybe that's ultimately what I should be doing. I tend to be a little more stubborn than that, which may be even more of a problem than anything else. But I am looking to set myself some concrete goals, as far as where I want to be in 10 years, in 20 years. Not necessarily location, but financially. And then, of course, how do you get there? What part of my skill set will allow me to make the kind of money that I need to so that I can be in that place? So here's where I come to you guys. I think there's very few of us out there that will actually say we're where we want to be in life. But nevertheless, many of you have fared probably far better in setting goals and achieving them or coming closer to achieving them than I have. And I want to know, what's your secret? Spill your guts. Tell me the story, because I haven't figured that part out yet. I started journaling here a few weeks back, which I haven't stuck to nearly as faithfully as I need to. But that's helped me kind of flush out some things in my head as far as where I want to be. But it hasn't helped me figure out how I'm going to get there. So again, I would love to hear from you guys in terms of what goals have you set in your lives and how have you gone about actually achieving them or attempting to achieve them. I'm looking for ideas. And I've done my share of YouTube video watching, and it's amazing how frightfully simple some successful people make it. You just set your goal and then you go do it. Well, that's all fine and good, but that's not how my brain processes life. I am far more formulaic in how I approach things. And there may be things I've said in this video that some of you are saying, well, there's your problem. Here's your sign. So, again, let me know what you guys think on this. And in return, I am going to pass on a drunk neighbor story because those never get old. A few weeks back, I had come home, I suppose, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and was getting ready. I had to just pick up a few things, and then I had to go down to my other office and tend to some actual work stuff. And as I was walking out of the house, I see drunk neighbor come outside in her nightgown, and this is circa 1985. It's been washed so many times you can pretty much see through it, which fortunately I'm a good, let's say, 200 feet away from her, and my eyes aren't that good at a distance, so I'm lucky on that respect. But drunk neighbor comes out of the house and shuts the door behind her. She takes about 3 steps, stops, and has the sudden realization she just locked herself out of her house. By now I've retreated to the indoors where she can't see me because I just want to watch this all play out for a little bit. She kind of paces up and down the sidewalk a couple of times, and then she goes back to the door, wiggles the handle a few times, and then begins to knock as though somebody may be inside. Now, this is particularly entertaining to me because she does not have a car. Her boyfriend does, but her boyfriend's car was not there, so she was alone. She had locked herself out of her house and proceeded to knock, hoping somebody would let her in. But the story does not end there. Well, by dumb luck, and I mean seriously coincidental dumb luck, the woman who manages rental houses for this company happens to stop by my house at this exact moment. And, I'm in a relatively small community and pretty well known. But she stopped by just to say hi and found my drunk neighbor standing outside in her nightgown and no shoes. So, God bless Norma for just being a kind-hearted and big-hearted woman. Takes drunk neighbor downtown to get her a spare key. And before they could return, the cab company showed up. Now it gets better. Because as they return, the cab company is still sitting there. Norma helps drunk neighbor into her house. What had happened was drunk neighbor had called the cab company to take her someplace, God knows where. She's in her nightie and no shoes. But she had called the cab company to take her someplace, locked herself out of the house, in the meantime forgotten she had called the cab company, left with the rental apartment manager, only to return and have to pay for a cab that never left her curb. Fun times. These are good times in suburbia Nebraska. And I say this all very lightheartedly. Again, she is a wonderful neighbor for 5 days out of the week. She keeps her yard clean. She keeps her house nice. She goes to work always and always on time. By all accounts, a truly wonderful woman until her weekend starts. And then it's all bets off. So anyway, in return, tell me about your goals. Tell me how you are working to achieve them or how you have achieved them, or if you just utterly failed and had to move on. That's valid too, because I've done some of that in my life as well. But that's all there is for this week's weekend philosophy. This week's weekend philosophy. Yes, I did that right. So, no matter who you are, where you are, I hope you're having a great weekend and have a great week ahead. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.